What's up, Taiwan? I'm Eric Gao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Japan has begun releasing the first batch of treated nuclear wastewater into the Pacific Ocean. This water comes from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, which was damaged in a tsunami in 2011. A total of 1.3 million tons of treated wastewater will be dumped into the ocean. The UN's nuclear watchdog says it will monitor the release. The global body and many scientists say the discharge will only have a small impact on people and the environment. But the move has drawn criticism from nearby China and South Korea. A deal to expand the BRICS group of countries with emerging economies has faltered as the BRICS Summit enters its final day. Rick Lau reports.
Posing for a family photo. Leaders from the BRICS bloc of emerging economies, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, at their annual summit. Absent from the gathering in Johannesburg, Russia's leader Vladimir Putin, who sent his foreign minister instead. Putin avoided travelling because there's an international criminal court arrest warrant out on him for alleged war crimes in Ukraine. And he used his video address to defend the invasion that has driven a wedge between West-aligned democracies and Russia and its allies such as China.
Наши действия на Украине продиктованы только одним – положить конец той войне, которая была развязана Западом и их сателлитами на Украине против людей, живущих на Донбассе.
Chinese leader Xi Jinping sounded warnings of a new Cold War. Europe and the US have grown wary of cooperation with China as it increases military aggression in the South China Sea and towards Taiwan, which it claims as part of its territory. Xi said he hopes this bloc can counteract what he sees as economic coercion from the West.
金砖国家要做发展振兴道路上的同行者，反对脱钩断链，经济胁迫。
On the summit's agenda was discussing a BRICS currency and expanding the bloc to give more clout to the global south. But little headway has been made on either issue. As the summit enters its final day, divisions among members continue to rack this group, with democratic Brazil, India and South Africa finding themselves caught between pursuing closer trade links with autocracies China and Russia and Western democracies like the US and Europe. Differences over issues like Ukraine and Taiwan are bringing these divisions to the fore, making it harder for a bloc like BRICS to reach a consensus. Klein Wang and Rick Lowett for TaiwanPlus.
India has become the first country to land a spacecraft on the moon's south pole. Wednesday's successful landing comes just days after a Russian mission failed, crashing into the moon's surface. The South Pole is unexplored, but is believed to contain ice. Scientists say this could be used as a source of drinking water or to produce fuel and oxygen for future missions. India is the fourth country to land on the moon. People around India celebrated, and its Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, praised the achievement.
Our moon mission is also based on the same human-centric approach. Therefore, this success belongs to all of humanity.
Russian mercenary boss Yevgeny Prigozhin is presumed dead after his plane crashed in Russia. Prigozhin was the leader of Wagner Group, a mercenary force that's fighting in Ukraine. He and several other group commanders were on a plane that crashed in western Russia. There were no survivors. Social media accounts from the group are accusing Russia of downing the plane. In June, Prigozhin led an attempted coup against Moscow, and many analysts say the crash could be an act of revenge. North Korea's second attempt at launching a spy satellite has failed, with the rocket crashing into the sea. North Korean state media says the rocket went down after its third-stage booster experienced a problem. South Korea says it will try to salvage wreckage from the crash. North Korea's first spy satellite launch in May also failed. Pyongyang says a third attempt will take place in October. In Taiwan news, the U.S. has approved a military package worth $500 million to support Taiwan's fleet of F-16 fighter jets. That deal was announced on Thursday. It will include search and tracking systems to help protect the aircraft. Training, spare parts, and other equipment for the planes will also be included. This is the 11th U.S.-Taiwan arms deal to take place under the Biden administration. Taiwan does have one of the largest fleets of F-16 fighter jets in the world, with about 140, and there's another 66 to be delivered by the end of 2026. Taiwan's cabinet is set to decide on a minimum wage hike next month. Labor groups are calling on the government to significantly increase salaries. Bing Wang reports.
Salaries for minimum wage jobs like these are expected to rise again in 2024. Labor groups are calling for a 4.55% increase in minimum wage next year, the same hike from 2022 to 2023. That will give minimum wage earners the equivalent of $40 more a month, raising pay from $830 to $870. Taiwan's cabinet is expected to make a decision in early September. Around 2.5 million workers will be affected.
至少要比照军公教至少要4%，我们的薪资中位数大约42000，乘以2/3的话，那在台湾来讲，只要工资低于27600的话，就是低薪族。
Since President Tsai Ing-wen took office in 2016, the minimum wage, which was set at $660 then, has increased every year with an average jump of 4.05%. Tsai campaigned to get it to about $940 by the end of her term, but as presidential elections are set for next January, that's unlikely to happen. Economists say the expected increase in consumer price index must be considered.
但至于说2%以上可以多少，那就要看劳动方工总，所以不能超过2%，劳方不会接受的。
Last year, the average real wage dropped due to the soaring cost of living, which means that price increases exceeded pay raises. But government statistics show that inflation has slowed down this year. Minimum wage workers are hoping with the salary increase, they can continue to afford to live in Taiwan. Patrick Chen and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
Prosecutors in New Taipei have indicted 21 workers at a public crematorium for allegedly taking bribes. The suspects reportedly admitted to taking money from families for additional services. Those included cremating bodies faster, removing impurities from the ashes, and carrying out cremations at auspicious times. Prosecutors say the suspects made almost $1 million in bribes over the course of 3 years. But they say the workers have returned much of that money, so they're calling for a lighter sentence. Concerns are mounting over Taiwan's new citizen judge system, which was put in place at the start of this year. It's meant to bring accountability to the courts by giving citizens a say in cases. But critics say trials are rushed and professional judges interfere in the sentencing. John Van Trieste has this report.
Taiwan's new citizen judge program appears to have some growing pains. The system brings ordinary people and career judges together to decide cases. The aim is to make courtrooms transparent and end complaints that they're run by judges who are out of touch and not accountable to anyone. It's also part of President Tsai Ing-wen's pledge to reform Taiwan's judiciary. Since the system was launched in January, only 4 trials have used citizen judges, but the system already has its critics. Some say the trials have been rushed.
起诉之后，给予辩护人准备案件的时间可以再适度的增加，让辩护人有足够的时间去了解说这个个案需要哪一些证据。
There are also questions about the influence the professional judges have over sentencing. Some observers say they push for harsher sentences than the citizen judges might want.
我们也看到重判的趋势了多案件的这个似乎刑跟罪这两者之间不大相符啊。
Critics include former citizen judges as well. One, who helped hear a recent murder trial, says the career judges hold a lot of sway, the very thing the new system was meant to reduce.
他已经经历过1次的减刑，法官会跟我们讲一下这次争议的刑法第59条吗？在第2次减刑的话，他的刑期大概会跟重伤害，或是强盗，或者是毒品。
Taiwan's judicial branch says these complaints of overreach by career judges are unfounded. It says all citizen judges are free to voice their views and make independent decisions. But it seems not everyone is convinced. James Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
A man has been arrested in southern Taiwan after allegedly stealing 15 giant tortoises. Police say the man broke into a reptile garden in Tainan on Sunday. They tracked him down after finding 7 of the Aldabra tortoises for sale online, which they say he'd sold for $7,000. They also retrieved the remaining 8 tortoises. The suspect was arrested and reportedly admitted to the theft. This species of tortoise is legal to keep and sell in Taiwan. A garden in a northeastern Taipei neighborhood is helping the community grow together, and locals hope that it could inspire future green rooftops. Bryn Thomas digs in.
Travel north on Taipei Metro's Brown Line, and you'll find a green island in a concrete jungle. It's a place where local shopkeepers, office workers, and clerks become gardeners and farmers. This urban oasis sits atop Donghu Public Library. It's a project that could plant seeds for real change.
这是我们辛苦种的丝瓜哦，可以采收了。
这个是皇宫菜哈，不到1个礼拜哦，长得好多。
采这个开心吗？
当然开心啊！你看上个礼拜来才剪的，这个礼拜来它又给你长得头好壮壮。
This rooftop garden is among the largest in Taiwan. It's providing people in the area with fresh-grown produce and something to do, but there are other benefits too.
绿屋顶的好处啊，可以绿美化呀，可以节能减碳呐，这样子，嘿，可以净化空气呀，等等的。
Green spaces in cities play an important role in reducing the heat island effect. Taipei is a basin, is very humid, and its population is highly reliant on air conditioned. Combined with a closely packed, dense cityscape, the result is a hot, muggy summer. The plants here provide shade and insulation that lowers temperatures.
可以降低室内的温度。那其实植物透过光合作用和蒸散作用，除了可以降热以外，那在强降雨的时候呢，也可以延缓这个积淹水的风险。
Still, managing heat means getting a few things right. For example, 10-centimeter deep soil insulates a building against heat, but 30-centimeter deep soil can store it, increasing the strain on AC units. This means would-be gardeners need to know their plants.
种的品种会因为这个每一种植栽它的土壤的需求高度不一样。假设我们种蔬菜可能15公分、20公分就够了，但是我们假如种玉米的话，可能要30公分以上，不然它的很容易倒伏。
And then there's the issue of water. Add too much, and your neighbors could be flowing upstairs and pouring out their complaints. That's where the tech comes in.
田园绿屋顶最让人家头痛的就是浇水的问题。那我们这个田园绿屋顶很高兴，我们就设计的叫做这个智慧云端喷灌系统。那这个整个系统可以透过手机就可以控制远端的控制。
The process of urban gardening requires a lot of planning, but when it's done right, its effects are significant. It can drop temperatures by multiple degrees, which helps lower power bills. This gives the added benefit of reducing reliance on non-renewable energy sources.
我们这里有学员曾经量过，我们这边跟楼下的温度差了3度，真的是差了3度左右啊。楼上因为我们大概85%的面积都种菜了。
Although this project is small, researchers say scaling it up could have a huge impact. Taipei alone covers just over 270 square kilometers and has a population of about 2.5 million people. From space, it looks like a blanket of gray, empty rooftops. But for the gardeners at Donghu Public Library, that's a whole lot of potential. And big things can grow from the smallest seeds. Howard Chang and Bryn Thomas for TaiwanPlus.
In sports, Taiwan has beat Curacao 9-1 in the Little League World Series. So far, Taiwan has been dominating its opponents in the tournament, which is being held in the U.S. Its match against Curacao was the first time they allowed a hit and a run. Taiwan will now play against either Mexico or Japan, who will first face off on Saturday. If Taiwan wins the next round, it'll advance to the championship game against the U.S. Taiwan holds the record for the most championships in the Little League World Series with 17 titles. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out these stunning shots of Mount Fuji in Japan. I'm Eric Gao. Take care and see you next time.